Hi guys, MrRoflWaffles here. I've got the Shadows of Evil trailer on the screen, my background music in check, and that means it's time, again, to talk about a secret that we all missed in the Shadows of Evil trailer. Now, I want to start things off by saying that this isn't just a dustbin lid falling off or a zombie falling over, both of which happen in the trailer, but we'll save that for another video. I want to make it clear to you guys right off the bat that this is going to take some real detective work, so please, if you would be so kind, bear with me. I need to explain a couple of things first, and then we're going to be able to dive into what exactly I'm talking about. In my mind, it's definitely worth the wait. Today's body part of choice is your earlobe. That's what I'd like you to click the like button with, so go ahead and do that, and we can jump straight in. In Black Ops 3 Zombies, there are obviously a lot of new systems in place that we're going to have to get used to when we start playing Shadows on November 6th. For example, the bubblegum machine. We're going to have to get used to that new system. Speaking of systems, there's the XP system. We don't know how that's going to function just yet. And another one of the things that we're going to have to get used to is... how can I say this without making you think I've lost my mind? Alien eggs! Yeah, I'm not kidding. Or at least, alien eggs is my best guess. I'm gonna let you guys make your own in the comments down below, but first let me give you the evidence with which I want you to formulate those theories. The first things that we're going to look at are the particle systems used in the trailer, and this is going to be a central theme of this video. I'm going to paraphrase Wikipedia here and say that a particle system is a technique used in video games in which very small sprites are used to simulate certain kinds of fuzzy phenomena which would otherwise be very hard to render. What does this mean to you, though, the viewer? Well, if you see, for example, a burning barrel in a video game, then chances are there might be some smoky, foggy, sparky type stuff hovering about above the barrel. Yeah, that's a particle system. Now that we have that definition out of the way, I want to show you this. This is a particle system. The particles are red, but there doesn't appear to be a burning barrel in sight. So why are these strange sparks hovering around the air in the Shadows of Evil map? We're going to come back to this towards the end of the video. Now we're going to look at a different particle system. This one is associated with drops, power-ups. So if you get an insta-kill or a nuke, it will have a green glow around it, right? You're used to that in Zombies, pretty standard. I want to make clear, before I go further and talk about these alien eggs, that in Black Ops 3 Zombies, or specifically in Shadows of Evil, those green glows that surround the power-ups we're so familiar with do not appear to have changed. There's a shot of them here, and a shot of them here, and they look pretty similar. Now, we can finally talk about alien eggs, or whatever it is that these things actually are, some alien ectoplasm xenomorphic weirdness. On that note, let's start the sleuthing. So, detective caps are going on. Like I said before, disclaimer, the first few shots of what I'm alleging to be alien eggs are pretty damn hard to make out, and so, well, I apologize for that, but it's Treyarch's fault, not mine. My first encounter with these weird eggs was in this shot here. In the background, there is a green particle system that looks suspiciously like Vulture Aid's system did in Buried, the Black Ops 2 Zombies map. Now, I'm not expecting Vulture Aid to return anytime soon, but it did get me thinking. If Vulture Aid is not what I'm seeing here, what am I seeing? And specifically, what is the thing below the particle system that seems to be emitting the particles? It looks, at a glance, like some kind of alien egg. If you're feeling underwhelmed at this point, please stick with me. This is not the only instance in the trailer where these eggs are visible, and we're going to look at a couple more of said instances right now. In this shot here, we have our buddy the boxer shooting some zombies, and you'll see that on the right are power-up spawns. So that is a regular power-up particle system. We've discussed this already. However, if we look in the top right, we see that it's actually accompanied by that egg particle system. Now, I recognize the fact that it's really hard to see some of this stuff, and I'm going to be zooming in on things that are pretty blurry, but bear with me, we do get some reasonably clear shots of the egg, despite the fact that I think Treyarch tried to hide this as best they could and really didn't want anyone to find it. Or at least didn't expect anyone to look in enough detail in order to do so. We're going deep here. If we go forward a few more frames, we see the egg itself, but it's still pretty blurry. Going a couple of frames further, we again get a snippet of it, but it's damn blurry and hard to make out the details of what's going on. So let's go a couple frames further to the end of this scene and we'll see the egg one last time, except, well, it's still really blurry. So how are we going to figure out what this thing is doing or what it's for if we can never see it? Well, there's one more scene in which we see the egg. It's this one. Let's go a few frames back and we'll see it in the bottom left. Finally, an unobscured shot of the egg in all its glory. But it's still a little blurry, so let's do what we can to analyze this image. Behind the egg, there's a cardboard box. Don't mistake the silhouette of the box for the silhouette of the egg. They are distinct. This is what the silhouette of the egg looks like, to my mind at least. And in case this outline doesn't really make sense to you, this is what it actually looks like with all the green vapor and gas coming out of the egg itself. So, shall we take a moment to speculate why the egg's there? I think that that's a good idea. Treyarch have been inspired over the years by popular culture. That's something that they're happy to admit, and in fact, they suggest to us that we should look in popular culture for things that might have spurred them on to make certain decisions in Zombies. I think that these eggs are directly inspired by the eggs in the Alien franchise. They're the eggs that I showed you earlier in the video. Here are some more screenshots so you can compare and contrast. They look like they're about the same size as those we see in the Shadows map relative to a person. It should be noted that the Treyarch eggs appear to have spines on the outside, which aren't necessarily features of the eggs in the Alien franchise, but that's okay. I think it's at least safe to say that the Alien eggs inspired the Treyarch eggs. So, can we extrapolate from this and say, in the Alien franchise, when these eggs open up, these little aliens jump out and hug your face. They jump directly onto your face and hug you to death, pretty much. So, maybe it could be argued that it would be a fair assumption to say that in Shadows of Evil, these eggs are gonna open up, spit out a zombie, and it's gonna hug you to death. Or maybe not a zombie, maybe a denizen. Or maybe not a denizen, maybe one of those flying, weird alien things that we've seen in the trailer. That would make a lot more sense. But that then conflicts with a theory that some people hold, that's that the parasites, these flying things that shoot gloop at you, only appear on specific rounds that are parasite rounds, or alien rounds. And you've got the Margwar, this big three-headed alien, and you've got the parasites, and together they make up a special round. But if this is the case, where the eggs spawn the facehuggers, or spawn the parasites rather, then they can't be their own separate round, because we've seen the egg during zombie rounds. You could then say, but wait, we haven't actually seen anything coming out of these eggs, so maybe that's not what they're there for at all. And your argument would be perfectly valid because, like I said, this is speculation. We do not know. But I do want to hear your comments in the comment section down below, talking about what you think these eggs are for. For all we know, these things could be used to build the wonder weapon on the map. We have no idea what the heck Treyarch is planning, but we do have alien eggs that seem to be in different locations, emitting a green gas of some kind during both zombies and, if they are alien rounds, alien rounds. Now that you've digested all of that information, let's take this full circle. Remember at the beginning of the video, I showed you a particle system and mentioned that the particles were red. At the time, it might have sounded like I was babying you and describing something very obvious, but I wanted to point it out so you'd remember specifically what I'm talking about now. The particle system was red, but it looked identical to the particle system we've seen associated with the egg that was green. So maybe there are two different states for these eggs. Maybe one state is green, maybe that's something inside it waiting to hatch, and another is red, meaning that the thing has hatched and the egg is going to despawn or decay or can be used for something or is going to explode or something completely different. We really don't know, but it does, at least to me, look like that is the egg below those red particles, and the particles being emitted are definitely a different color to those we've seen elsewhere in the trailer. So thanks for watching, guys. I know that this has been a bit of a slog to get through, but fingers crossed it's been worth it, because Before watching it, we didn't know anything about alien eggs or monster eggs in the trailer, and now we've seen them at least 3 times, maybe more if we look a little more deeply, and also potentially have a new system in the map, namely eggs being green or red, on display for us to think about. Black Ops 3 Zombies is just around the corner now, and fingers crossed you'll be subscribed to my channel when the game launches for the most in-depth coverage of the mode. Now that that is out of the way, I have been MrRoflWaffles. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. If you have, then leave a like. If you haven't, let me know why in the comment section down below. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.